Hey there, my Tyler Perry Oval fans. It's your girl, Barbie J here with Season 4, Episode 5, Image, Power, and Money. And you know who said that? That was Dale when they were sitting in the diner. He was sitting in there with Alan. But anyway, sorry that this video is late. I had to work and do some work for the election that was today. And now I got home late and I'm hurrying up trying to do this video for you guys. And I'll be honest, I didn't think this episode was all that. It was so confusing what was happening with the Eli, the stuff he was saying, and that whole thing with who is it? Donald and Lily and Bobby and Max and Victoria with Donald and Hunter and the doctor. It was just confusing to me. So anyway, let me just get on with this recap review real quick. So we got Victoria and Donald. She meets him in his office and then leads him to the yellow room, and she's calling him girl and Donna instead of Donald and stuff, and telling him to sit down because she knows them heels is hurting his feet and stuff. And I was like, did Donald have on some pumps? I'm like, what did Victoria talk about? Did he have on pumps or not? We got Victoria. She noticed how slow Donald's moving to sit down on the couch. And I know something was going through her little dumb head of hers. And she's like, damn, he hurt you like that? That bad? So we know what she's talking about. And they're going all over their loose ends. And one of the loose ends was that he's having his hitman agent Grip killed. And another loose end is that the VP is trying to take them all down. And Victoria said, he can't do that. And Donald asked if she had something on him. And she said no, but that she has one more card to play and that she's her father's daughter. And then Victoria tells him to run along like she figures out she figure out how to spin all of this ish. And he's like, do you think you can? And she said, yeah, now that Jason is gone. And I'm like, oh, but is he gone, Victoria? Is Jason really gone? Then we got Hunter and the doctor. He's telling him that it's not his son who was in that bed. And he's like, I know my own son. What kind of father would I be? So, Hunter been getting high and stuff. So there's a lot going on with him right now. He's all paranoid. So he gets upset with the doctor, but then asks, who is that person if it's not his son? Good question. And the doctor's like, I don't know. And then before letting the doctor leave again, because he kept telling him to leave, and then he calls him back and asks, if it's not my son, then where is Jason? Now, how come he didn't say, then where is my son if that's not my son? He said, where's Jason? And the doctor says, we don't know. The hospital can't find him. So he offers to get the Secret Service involved, but Hunter says no and dismisses him, but not without letting him know that hospital will pay for all of this. We got Alan and Dale. I don't know what was going on with them. They're in a diner eating and talking when they realize they don't even have enough cash to pay for their $32 breakfast because Alan can't even use his credit cards. And why? Because Donald could trace him and find out where they are. He wants to use his phone, but he can't do that. They'll trace him and know where they are. So once again, Alan is being an a-hole, and Dale is just being quirky old Dale. You know how he is. It's bothering Alan that Dale is so nice and happy. Why does that bother people? I had that happen to me once in a building that I lived in the Bronx in New York City. And they was like, why are you always so damn happy and stuff? And I'm like, why aren't you? I don't get people. It bothers you. And then I had a job where they said that you always come in all happy. What's wrong with it? And they had no idea I was miserable, but I came in looking happy, and they had no idea. You don't always have to show people what you're going through. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me move on with the show. So quirky old Dale, he offered to hide out at his parents' house in Virginia, but Alan didn't think that was a good idea. Then they both left the diner without finishing their food nor paying the full bill. I said, Lord, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So we got Bobby and Max. God, I never understand what's going on with them. Max gets back to Bobby to give him the VP's direct order about going back to his house. Bobby tells him that there are 14 agents around Donald's house. Bobby doesn't want to leave. He wants to go get him. Max is like, go ahead. But he's like, he knew he couldn't do it. So Max tells him that the VP says Lily will be safe. Bobby wants to know how he knows. And Max said, well, let's go back and find out how he knows. Then Bobby feels he has no choice but to obey, and he goes back with Max since there's nothing else he could do right then and there. Then we got Donald and Hunter. Hey, Hunter notices how slow Donald is moving as well, but doesn't say much about it. He asks if Victoria and her father are playing around with him. They talk about Victoria killing their son. Donald interrupts him talking. He interrupted President while he was talking and to ask him how much cocaine has he had, because he's been, he has seen him like this before when he's been out of the White House. And so here's Hunter getting paranoid, and he's like, who told him that? And Donald said, no one. And then the president calls Alonzo in the office saying he wants to find out who's spreading these rumors. So he asks Alonzo what did he tell Donald, and Alonzo has no idea what he's talking about because he hadn't even probably seen Donald. I don't think he did. And Donald tells Alonzo to leave, and Hunter's like, no, you got to stay. And he's like, let him leave. So, and he leave, Hunter's bugging. He's bugging because he did too much blow the night before. That's what they're saying. Then Hunter asked Donald, why was he in the yellow room with Victoria? And he lied, stating that they were making arrangements for Jason's services. Wow. How quick is he at lying? Isn't that something? We got Kyle and Kane. He asks Kyle and informs him that he found Sam, the butler, Priscilla, Bobby, and Max at the VP's house. Then he says Richard and his wife and Nancy and Sharon just walked in as well. And Kyle asks, Sharon? And Kane says, the one the president is fond of. And I'm like, how does he know that? How does Kane know that? And why doesn't Kyle seem to remember that when he's the one who went to get her initially, right? Wasn't Kyle the one who got her? So Kyle asks Kane, does he see a cute brunette? I guess he's talking about Dale. And Kane says he can look through the windows. And I'm like, how come there's no Secret Service around the VP's house? But there's 14 of them around Donald's house. It makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. This makes no sense. And how is it that none of them see Kane sitting in a car close by, specifically Bobby, Max, and Sam? Really? They should be able to spot stuff like that. Maybe even Richard, because he's been in the army, in military. So it just was like, come on, this is not making sense to me. Then we got Donald and Kyle, and Kyle tells him that they all are in one place at the VP's house, everyone they having a problem with. So he tells Donald they can call a drone strike and blow up the house and all of their problems will be gone. And I'm like, wow, really? What is up with him? And Donald reminds him that it's the vice president of the United States, and Kyle keeps just going. But Donald keeps telling him to stop, listen to yourself. And he said he's going to go talk to the president. So then we got Eli. He addresses the group that has gathered at his house, and he tells them all that they got it wrong. Jason was responsible for the death of Jean and Hunter's mistress, and he shows them a video of Jason killing Jean, as well as the sword that he had in Hunter's bedroom when he killed, what was her name, Denise, the mistress. So they want to know, well, Sam is the one who asked, how did he get the video of these things? And he says there are cameras in the residents' bedrooms, but nobody's supposed to know that, And I'm like, what? Come on. These people get undressed and get naked. That is a violation of their privacy. And he said this is all from a source at Langley, and they will be destroyed once we're through with them. And then he says that Denise and Agent Uma, I think he was saying, were messing around, and Eli kept showing them pictures of people, and it wasn't very clear. And Max would say which pictures were real and which weren't. They look fake. And then he said Agent Uma and some guy she gets poppies from were going to kill the president or something like that. And here's her carrying money to him. And Max doesn't believe it. And you know what? I don't believe it either. And all we can get, it was like all we can get the president for is having an affair, he said, with Denise and coming on to Sharon. And Sharon was like, wait a minute, he kidnapped me. And Eli's like, well, that's kind of a strong word. And she's like, well, what would you call it? And so Max and Bobby and possibly Sam do not believe what the VP is telling them at all. And Simone tells them, hey, that my husband is not a liar and he cares about his country and all of you, and Sam asks Eli if he trusts the intel and he says yes. So it's supposed to be a reliable source. And so Priscilla's like, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, go back to your lies. Priscilla's like, what? And they tried to kill us? And he shows a pic of Agent Kipling and says that he was sleeping with Ellie. And Priscilla's like, wait a minute. Ellie was sleeping with him, the president, and Alan. And Eli says, and a few others. I was like, this is so much bull. It makes no more sense. It makes no more sense. Then we got Donald and Victoria, and he tells her that she was right. And Victoria says, I know because I'm right about everything. And he tells her that Hunter is losing it. She's telling him not to worry about it. It should blow over soon. She got it covered. He asked her if she has some superpowers he don't know about. And she said, yes, it's called a vagina, dear. Don't you wish you had one? And Victoria tells him to leave and then asks him again about why he walking so funny. And he said it was a gym injury. And she said, it looks like somebody broke that tailbone. I said, ooh, okay, all right. Then we see Bobby and Max saying that they heard, what they heard makes no sense. They're outside of the house now, out of the VP's house. They out in front. He's saying it makes no sense. Then Bobby is telling Max that he's going to get Lily by just knocking on the door. And Max says, he's so dumb, but is following behind him anyway. Then we have Priscilla, Sam, Sharon, Richard, and Nancy talking, and then they part ways. Then we have Kane. He calls Kyle and lets him know that they're all leaving, and he put trackers on all of their cars. And Kyle's like, great, because he wants to know where all of them are going. And then he asks about the cute brunette kid and the chief of staff's assistant, Alan. And Kane said he hasn't seen them, and he added that they have to find them. Kyle said, we got to find them. So Donald gets back home, and he's being a pain in the butt, torturing Lily and making her feel like Bobby doesn't love her because he didn't come in there with guns blazing to save her. And he asks her if she's going to leave him, and she's saying no. But we all know that she's just really wants to get out of those chains. So he wants her to check her messages to see if Bobby called her. But when he opens it for her, because she didn't want to check, but he opens it for her, and it's a video of her mother, and she's like, no, that's my mammy, and and he said if she ever tries to leave him again or go to the press with something, he would kill her mammy, her daddy, her sister, them baby kids, the cat, and the cockeyed ass dog. I said, damn, he crazy. Donald is crazy. And he said he will kill everything she holds dear because he is sick of her ish. And he gave her the keys to unlock herself, saying she looks like ish. And he walked away. And it ended with Eli calling Victoria and telling her that they bought it hook, line, and sinker, and she can't believe it. But he says maybe I'm so convincing, and that's why. And she's like, whatever. He said, but it's all over, he told her. Now she wants to know when he will take care of her. Since he took care of that, she want him to take care of her. And we know what that means. And he said as soon as he can get away. So Eli tells Victoria she needs to talk to her bitch Donald. He can't stand her ass. They were calling her. They keep calling Donald he, she, her, and her, and she, and all of that stuff. And Victoria said, I got her covered. And I'm laughing still. And then next thing you know, it's Simone. She opens his office door and asks Eli, who are you talking to? And she looked as if she heard something that he is hoping she didn't hear. So anyway, that's how it went off. I don't know what I thought about this episode. It wasn't all that to me. I'll be honest. Some things was funny because you got to laugh at this damn show. Anyway, for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now. Hit that subscribe button. Then hit the notification bell. It'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Hit that thumbs up like button for me. Please hit that. And then write a comment. Let's see what y'all thought about this episode, because I don't know what to say. And then share the video if you feel like it, okay? It's your girl Barbie J saying, see you in the next video. Peace.